People were lined up for hours this morning for the grand opening of a new business here in the border city. Macau Imperial Tea has locations all over the world, and now they've brought their menu to Lloydminster for residents to enjoy.
I own a store back in the Philippines, so I try to introduce this to them, and then it's really popular in Asia. It's called milk tea, or some people call it boba or bubble tea. So it's like a mix of fruits, milk tea, and some refreshers and blended drinks.
The store opened at 11 a.m. this morning. The owners had a feeling that today was going to be a busy day, but they weren't expecting this huge of a turnout. This gives them hope for the other stores they're opening.
In the future, we're planning to build 2 more stores. One will be handled by Jonel. He will be handling the Saskatoon branch, and one will be handled by Jeff, who will be handling Thunder Bay, Ontario, and Arnel will be handling this store.
Cruz says the opening of Macau Imperial Tea in the border city gives the Asian community of Lloydminster and surrounding areas a chance to connect and to taste from home.
We definitely like Marwin, like I said, Cold Lake. We have from Provost, like all the nearby towns are coming here. Earlier this morning, we have people coming as early as 9 in the morning. So it's just nice to connect with the locals as well as the fellow Filipinos and Asians. And they're just excited to have this taste available in their local place.
Macau Imperial Tea is located at 3708 50th Ave in Lloydminster and is open from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Welcome back. An unusually hot, dry summer means harvest is well ahead of schedule. The latest crop report shows 7% is now combine. That is well ahead of the 5-year average of 1%. Crop and topsoil moisture is rated 6% adequate, 32% short, and 62% very short. The report shows many producers have reported below average hay yields. Alberta's official opposition is calling for the government to increase mental health support for the agriculture sector. Jillian Code has the details.
Today on Primetime Local News, I am joined by Heather Sweet. She is the MLA for Edmonton Manning, and she is also the official opposition critic for agriculture and forestry. Now, Heather, you guys have proposed that Alberta implement a 24/7 mental health line for farmers or those who work in the ag industry. Can you tell me a little bit about this?
So yesterday we called on the UCP government to fund a 24/7 mental health support line specifically for agriculture. And the reason for that is that obviously we're seeing increased stress with the drought and with the failure of crops, and of course our ranchers looking at having to call their herds. And so it's a unique industry. And we wanted to make sure that not only do farmers and ranchers have access to mental health when they need it 24/7, but also the people that they're talking to understand the world of agriculture.
Yeah, because if someone's, trying to help out a farmer, help them through a tough time, and they don't know all the ins and outs of the industry, it's going to be a lot more difficult, and maybe they won't be as necessarily helpful as they intended to be. And I know isolation is already a really big issue in agriculture, and the pandemic really exuberated that. It made it a lot more prominent. How can having a counselor who understands the world of agriculture really help farmers?
Well, and I think that's what's so important about the 24-hour support line is that we recognize farmers and ranchers can't just go to counseling between 9 and 5. Their world doesn't go that way. People are calving, they're out in the field harvesting, the weather changes, they got to do what they got to do. So of course, the idea behind this is that because it would be 24 hours, a farmer or rancher could pick up the phone at any time they feel like they want to talk to someone. And it also gives that piece of confidentiality, because we also recognize in smaller towns, maybe you don't want your neighbors to know how you're feeling or what's going on for you. And so this would give an opportunity for a more confidential conversation that at a time when farmers and ranchers are able to pick up the phone and do that.
And I saw that you've spent the last little while or so touring with farmers in Alberta. What type of stories are you hearing from these farmers?
Well, it's definitely been a tough year, and not only with COVID, but with the weather and drought now in the last couple of weeks or a couple of months. We know farmers and ranchers, they're resilient. They understand that Mother Nature does what she does sometimes. But I think people are tired. COVID's been hard. And then to have a drought on top of that, And, there's a lot of stress about what yields are going to look like. People are putting their combines out now, and they're starting to see what they're actually going to be bringing in. And then, of course, from our ranchers, the access to feed has just become a big question mark. And so what we need right now is we need the government to also step up and make sure that those insurance programs that farmers have bought into are being paid out right away. And that's what they're asking for. They're asking for their insurance to be available to them tomorrow, ideally, so that they can make sure that they're making plans, whether it be buying more feed so they don't have to call their herds, whether it be looking at trying to buy seed today so that they're able to seed next season, and be able to do all that planning. So, now it's just a matter of recognizing that this drought is probably going to have a long-term effect. It's not just going to be this season, it's going to be next season, maybe even the season after. And so we need to give as much support as we possibly can to our farmers and ranchers.
And this harvest really isn't the end of it. If we don't have, a long and snow-filled winter, farmers may end up in the exact same position next year, whether that be for their crops or for feeding their cattle. So there's a really big feeling of the unknown, and that can really take a toll on someone.
Yeah, and I think it's just being able to talk about what's going on. I was with a farmer yesterday who was saying, there's, depending on the way the wind's growing, one of his crops might be okay, and then the wind will shift, and now it goes after another crop. And so it really just depends on the day. And he's had moments where his bins have been full of bugs, and he's sitting beside it, and he's cursing and crying. And being able to just pick up the phone and talk to someone about how he's feeling about that. And I think it's something too where this helpline also, or this 24-hour support line, would also recognize that farmers put so much of their heart into their fields, and when Mother Nature decides to do what she's doing this year, it's not just your crop that fails. Farmers feel like they fail. And so we really need to recognize that they have no control over Mother Nature, and that they're not failing when their crops fail, but also recognizing that personally that's how it feels. And so being able to actually talk to someone that understands that that's how it feels is really what I would like to see the government support, which is with this phone line.
And I know our neighbor to the east, the province of Saskatchewan, has had a farmer mental health line, I think since like the mid 1970s. So obviously this is something that farmers have used and farmers have been in need of. Thank you so much for being able to chat with me today.
Thank you.
Now we'll take a look at your egg prices. The Lloydminster Bobcats are now just 2 weeks away from training camp and just over a month away from game action at the Civic Center. Ahead of the season, Evan Kenny caught up with one of the new players expected to make an impact this season.
Well, I'm pleased to be joined now by Zafir Rauji, a new Lloydminster Bobcat over this summer. Zafir, thank you for taking this time and joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Now, obviously, like I mentioned, new Bobcat. First, you were traded to the Manitoba Junior Hockey League before Lloydminster acquired you. I guess just how are you feeling, after the busy summer for yourself?
Yeah, I'm excited. Like it's been a whirlwind, getting traded to Manitoba and then to Lloyd, but I'm really excited to get to Lloyd to meet the people in the town. I've heard nothing but great things, and I've heard about all the great fan support that the team gets. So I'm really excited to get there and get the season rolling and, meet all the fans, meet all the players and everything like that.
Now, Zafir, obviously you mentioned the fan support there. While playing for the Sherwood Park Crusaders, you guys spent quite a bit of time against Lloydminster to start last season, but A, limited fan capacity, and B, it was also games in Kitscoty versus Lloydminster. So for some of those fans that weren't able to come out and watch you guys play, I guess just describe what your game's like for these fans.
Yeah, I'm definitely more of an offensive minded player. I think in the last couple of years in the league, I've really learned to round out my game and play a full 200-foot game. But, I love to set my teammates up, make plays, score some goals, and love playing on the power play and trying to get a little bit physical when I can too.
And who doesn't love, trying to pot in some goals and help the team out when you can there. Now, Zafir, you're a 20-year-old. You have 110 AJHL games under your belt already. Now, I know you're a new player coming into this organization, but do you have a little bit of expectations for yourself from a leadership side, just being one of those older players?
Yeah, definitely. I think when I came into the league, I had a lot of guys in Sherwood Park who were helping me out and were in my corner and just taking me under their wing and making sure I knew, what junior hockey was about and all the effort that you had to put in. So I think now it's my turn to return the favor, and leadership's always something I've been big on and try to be a big leader in the dressing room and on the ice. So definitely looking to help some of the young guys out, just get acquainted with the league.
And another new Lloydminster Bobcat is one of your former teammates, Tanner Finkurik. Now, it's got to be nice just being able to move cities, move teams with a familiar face, no?
Yeah, it'll definitely be nice. Me and Finney have been together since our rookie years in Sherwood Park. So it'll be great to have each other. We've been texting a lot, and I know we're both really excited to get there and get things going.
Now, Zafir, final question for you. Before the regular season and the exhibition season here starts for you, you're currently at the national championships for ball hockey across Canada. How's that going? I know your team's doing pretty good so far.
Yeah, it's been great. We finished first in the round robin play. So playoffs start today. We got the semifinals coming up this evening. So really excited and just hoping to bring home a championship.
Well, exciting time. Zafir, thank you very much for joining me. I'm sure I can speak for the fans here in Lloydminster saying we're excited to see you guys back on the ice.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now Connor Chan will take another look at your forecast.
All right, thanks very much, Jasmine. Yes, if it's going to be hot this weekend, so if you have a chance to go swimming, definitely do so, because it is going to be very hot for today, tomorrow, and on Sunday as well, as we're going to see temperatures get back into the higher 30-degree echelon, as well as seeing a little bit more humidity as well in the air, and even possibly seeing some smoke from the BC fires making their way through the prairies and eventually making their way into areas here in central Saskatchewan and Alberta here. 31 in Edmonton, Red Deer and Athabasca, 30 degrees in Edson and Rocky Mountain House, 32 in Jasper right now. It's a little not quite in the 30 degrees yet in Saskatoon and North Battleford, sitting at 29 and 28 degrees, 27 in Prince Albert, and then 30 in the Meadow Lake areas. A little bit warmer today in the northern parts of Saskatchewan. We did see them, of course, in the mid-teens to low 20s over the last couple of days. Now they're finally starting to catch up with the rest of us with the heat here, and 28 in La Loche and Buffalo Narrows. La Ronge sitting at 25. Still a little cooler as you make your way further up north in Walson Lake at 16 degrees. Northern Alberta also getting a little bit warmer today as well. 32 in Grand Prairie, 30 for Peace River and Fort McMurray, with 29 in High Level and 27 degrees in Fort Chipewyan. So a lot of Alberta in that heat warning as well. Looking over to Southern Alberta, 32 degrees in Lethbridge, 30 in Medicine Hat. They're no strangers to the very hot 30-degree temperatures throughout most of the summer there. 31 in Calgary and Coronation as well. Looking over to Southern Saskatchewan now, also still getting very warm. 29 in Moose Jaw, 29 in Regina, with 28 degrees in Swift Current, and then 32 you can see there in the Kindersley area. Looking over further eastbound there, we see 22 in Winnipeg, 31 in Quebec City, 28 degrees in Toronto, 18 degrees in St. John's. We probably will see that warm front moving further down east coast there, so Manitoba could start to see some heat later on into the weekend, even by early next week as well. 27 in Vancouver, clear skies though for Edmonton at 31 degrees, as they, of course, they're going to have another great hot day for the Elks football game that's coming up this weekend. 19 up in Yellowknife and 18 degrees in Whitehorse. And this is just a look at what we could see for tomorrow. We could see that 35 turn into maybe 36 and maybe even 37 degrees, as surrounding areas like Vermilion and Maidstone are getting that 37-degree treatment. 33 in the Edmonton and Vegreville area tomorrow. 33 also for St. Paul, as well as we see that 33 in Pierceland, 32 for Cold Lake and Bonnyville, 36 in North Battleford tomorrow. So it is definitely going to be a hot one tomorrow. So make sure you are keeping yourself cool and try not to stay outside too long to avoid heat exhaustion and dehydration as well. Make sure you are staying hydrated as well. Looking into Sunday, 32 degrees, and then we could see some rain, much needed rain, coming on Monday at 21 degrees, and things will definitely cool off pretty dramatically here. So a big jump off there. 16 on Tuesday, 19 on Wednesday, 20 degrees on Thursday, and then 21 degrees on Friday. That is a look at your 7-day forecast. We'll have more primetime local news coming up after the break.
I'm joined today on Primetime Local News with Michelle Newfield from the Lloydminster Area Brain Injury Society. Now, they're going to be putting on some tournaments in the upcoming weeks to raise money for all the stuff that they do. So the first one, Michelle, is Bones Tournament. Can you just tell us a little bit about that and what people need to know?
We still have some spots available. So we are going to be hosting our second annual Bones Tournament, which is going to be held out in Kitscoty on August 28th. We have spots for 32 teams, and it's just a one-day tournament where everyone can come out and sign up and come play some bones. Right now, I think you can play up to 4 or 5 games in the day. We'll have music and beer gardens and food, and it's just a good day of family and fun. And if you've never even tried the game, come and watch, and it's a really good time. So
before doing this interview, I had to look into what Bones even was because I'm not originally from this part of the province. So it's kind of interesting to see the videos and stuff, and it seems like a very big game around this part of the province.
Yes, it definitely is. And I actually had grown up in a town close to here that holds the World Championship. So I thought it was a great opportunity for me to bring it back to around here. Yeah, it's something that if you haven't heard about it, I would definitely Google it, but make sure maybe it's also called bunnock. So if there's other terms that you need to put in. But yeah, it's actually a really fun game. And once you try it once, people are usually hooked. So it's a good way to come out, like I said, and if you want to come and just throw a team together and come and try and have some fun for the day, it's guaranteed you'll have fun.
Now, for people who are more into slow pitch, you guys are also going to be hosting a slow pitch tournament in September, I believe. So can you kind of give us the details on that event?
Yes, we have lots on the go right now, but yes, we are hosting our 5th annual slow pitch tournament in September 17th to the 19th out in Kitscoty as well. And again, we have room for 16 teams, and it's a co-ed thing. And yeah, Lloyd and our surrounding area is such a slow pitch town. So it's kind of a great way that we can support our community as well as them supporting us back. So it's a good weekend of just lots of fun and lots of games to be played, and hopefully the weather's nice. So.
And so both of these events, the proceeds will be going to supporting what you guys do at Labus, eh?
Yes. Everything that we get in from these events directly support free programming that we provide for people with brain injuries in our community. And I mean, I'm so grateful that we are able to be hosting these things again this year, because it's a great way to support our community, and it's a great way to give back to our community as well as providing funds for our programs. So it's a win-win, and have some fun while we're at it.
So now that restrictions are off, is it exciting to be able to do more events kind of like this and have gatherings of larger people?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's something that everyone has been waiting for again right now. So it's great to be able to have something to look forward to. And yeah, it's just a great way to get out in the community and mingling again and having those connections. I mean, it's nothing more important than we realized this year than connections, for sure.
So for people who are looking at more information on either of these events, or just to see more about what you guys are doing, where can people find that?
Yeah, well, you can find us on Facebook. We have a Labus page on Facebook, and you're also able to just give us a call at the office, and I'm more than willing to help out and give any direction and hopefully sign you up for something. So
awesome. Yeah, we're hopefully going to have a great turnout for both of these events for you guys. Final thoughts today.
I just want to thank you guys so much, and that, any support that Labus can receive is amazing. So I think this is a good way to give back to the community as well as give back and to our organization, that, any support that we can have is so much appreciated for us, and we just appreciate it so much. So thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking some time to talk with me today.
Thanks a lot.
This weekend is a busy one in our area. It's Alberta Open Farm Day, so a lot of people are going to head out and explore Chatsworth Farm on Saturday. If you're in the Wainwright area, head out to the 2nd annual Back to the Past Car Show. It starts at 11 a.m. and you've got an opportunity to check out all different kinds of classic cars, plus a chance to support the food bank as well with their barbecue. A great opportunity to see some really cool rides coming up this Saturday in Wainwright. This weekend, you have the chance to celebrate our rich, diverse heritage with a 2-day multicultural event. Lloyd Fest is at the Lloyd X Grounds this Saturday and Sunday. The doors are going to open at 11 a.m. each day, and you've got the opportunity to enjoy some great live performances, some music, some delicious food, and Lloyd Fest the movie. So make sure you take your lawn chair so that you can relax and take in this great showcase of great cultures. There's going to be popcorn on hand as as well for that movie. Plus, just for the kids, they've got culture bag kits, and that's going to contain information and some crafts as well. Plus, when you get there, make sure you get your Lloydfest boarding pass for your chance to win some great prizes. Lloydfest 2021 out at the Lloyd X ground Saturday and Sunday. The Denham's Ramtaff CPCA finals begin in Lloydminster on Wednesday. And before you head to the races on Wednesday, stop by the Legion in Lloydminster. They're hosting a fundraising bottle drive and yard sale from 10 until 6 on Wednesday. So stop by, make a donation, and pick up something neat for your home. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, we hope you stay safe and stay healthy.
What's Happening is brought to you by Northern Factory Workwear, Circle Drive East, Saskatoon, and Highway 17 South, Lloydminster.
Well, joining us for the entertainment panel, as always, is Abby St. John. Abby, a few things to talk about. Marvel, of course, we talked about What If on the panel before. We knew it was coming really soon, and it's going to be their first animated series. But now that it's finally launched, what were some of the first reactions, not only from yourself, but what has been said from Marvel fans and critics that have seen the first episode?
Well, the first episode kind of depicts the first Captain America, the first Avenger. Now at the beginning, the intro alone had me hooked. They have a narrator called the Watcher, and it's being voiced by Jeffrey Wright. And the Watcher are beings that watch over the timeline, but they don't interfere. They're basically just watching as it happens. And the show is basically showing that one small little change can change the entire timeline. Now in the first episode, it shows what if Peggy Carter becomes the first super soldier. That's what it's titled. It shows in the episode Steve Rogers gets badly injured before getting the serum, so he can't get it anymore. So Peggy Carter takes his place and becomes the first super soldier. And then that creates a bunch of different changes within the timeline. Howard Stark gets the Tesseract and creates the Hydra Stomper, which appears to look like the first Iron Man suit that Tony creates in the cave during the first Iron Man movie after he's kidnapped. So that's a huge thing, and Steve Rogers is the one that operates within the suit, and Peggy Carter is the one that goes and tries to take down Hydra. So a bunch of different changes due to one small little change that happens at the beginning of the episode. It creates a huge change throughout the entire episode and completely changes the first Captain America movie, which we all know. So I think it was a fantastic episode. The animation reminds me of comic books, so they really took that aspect with it when they did their animation, and I think it was a great episode and first movie to start with as well. I'm kind of suspecting that they're going to be in chronological order, so it wouldn't be surprising if next week's episode or the next episode is Iron Man, the first Iron Man movie, but we'll have to wait and see for that. But so far, just with the intro alone has already had me hooked. I think they've done a wonderful job so far with just the first episode, and I'm very excited to see where they go from here. As we saw in the trailer, they showed kind of a preview of what we can expect with the different changes in timelines. So whatever the little change that happens that creates the larger events, it's going to be exciting to take a look at.
And definitely does give off that graphic novel type of feel that you did mention there. And of course, it'll be interesting to see for every Marvel fan on how every situation plays out, on that what if there. And one of the last things, Abby, we talked about it as well on the panel. We like to always revisit some fun things and chat about that. And one of those things we talked about before was the Wednesday Addams series officially getting underway. We all know who's going to play Wednesday Addams, but the parents are finally casted. And there are some familiar names. There's one familiar name and there's one name that you may not know, but once you see his face, he's one of those actors that you know him, but you just don't really know his name.
Yes, Catherine Zeta-Jones has been cast as Morticia, and I think it's just the perfect casting role for. She is no she her previous play, her previous roles back in the 90s. She really plays that sadistic villainous character, including her Oscar-winning performance in Chicago. She played a horror heroine role in The Haunting, as well as her underrated role in the Coen brothers movie Intolerable Cruelty. She plays plays these characters and such. She has such a villainy elegance to her that is perfect for the role as Morticia. Anyone who knows the Addams family knows that Morticia is that sadistic villain, but she has this elegance and grace to her that I think Catherine Zeta-Jones is going to just play the role absolutely perfectly. And I think that no one else, should have been cast as that role. I think Tim Burton himself realizes that she is the perfect choice to play Morticia. Now with Gomez Addams, it's played by Louise Guzman, who's known for his roles in Journey 2 and We're the Millers. So it's a little bit of a left field choice with his character, but he has proven his talent time and time again with him being a veteran in the acting world. And his most recent impressive role was the monstrous villain Jose Rodriguez Gacha in Netflix's Narcos, and who is far eviler than the playful Gomez's. Again, if you know the Addams family, you know that yes, Gomez, he has that dark, sadistic tone towards him, but he's also very playful, and he loves Morticia with all of his fiber and all of his being. So it's going to be interesting to see what Louise Guzman really brings to the character, but I think that it's a good choice. You have that little more of a left field choice with him, but I think he's going to be able to bring a lot to the character that we may not have seen in the past. He's going to be able to make Gomez his own character, and I'm very excited to see, and it kind of balances out the interesting risks that have been taken with the safer, smarter bets. So I'm excited to see where this show goes once we get more casting, but I think Catherine Zeta-Jones and Louise Guzman is a perfect choice for Wednesday's parents.
And we'll just see how it all shapes out as we get more information on it later on down the road. Abby St. John, thanks so much.
Thank you.
All right, taking one last look here at your weather forecast. 35 degrees going into tomorrow. The heat warning is probably going to stay around all weekend. 21 on Monday, 16 degrees, on Tuesday, 19 on Wednesday. We're going to see lots of really cooler and normal August temperatures back on the Monday, 20 on Thursday, and then 21 degrees on Friday.
Thank you for joining us on Primetime Local News. Have a great night.